Hey, everybody. Welcome back for another deep dive. I was reading this thing from the Center on the Developing Child at Harvard University
Oh, yeah.
about child neglect. And it's some pretty heavy stuff, actually.
It is.
But
Yeah.
pretty important stuff to think about.
It's really important. And, we talk a lot about nurturing and supporting kids
Right.
and all the things that go right.
Yeah.
But it's really crucial to understand what happens when things go wrong,
Yeah,
when those needs aren't met.
totally. And they talk about this term, serve and return.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of curious to know more about what that actually means.
So that is a really important concept that we'll definitely dive into.
Okay.
But before we get there, I think it's important to define what we're talking about when we say neglect.
Yeah.
Neglect isn't just, forgetting to pack a snack.
Right.
Or missing bedtime once in a while.
Yeah.
We're talking about a consistent failure to meet a child's basic biological needs.
So, I was thinking more emotional well-being and stuff.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely an emotional component.
Okay.
But to put it simply, a child's brain is wired for certain types of stimulation and interaction to grow.
Okay.
It's like a plant needing sunlight.
Uh-huh.
One of the researchers, Dr. Mays, puts it this way.
Okay.
Neglect for children is when they don't get what the brain is expecting to get.
So their brains are ready for this stuff.
Exactly.
And when they don't get it, things get messed up.
That's exactly right. And that's where the serve and return comes in.
Yep.
This is the back and forth interaction between a child and a responsive caregiver.
So
like a tennis match.
Okay, got it.
You serve up a cue, and the caregiver returns it with attention and interaction.
Got it.
So it's this constant back and forth.
I was going to say, is there an example of that?
Yeah, so imagine a baby babbling and reaching for a toy.
Okay.
That's their serve.
Right.
A responsive caregiver would return that serve by making eye contact, smiling, and saying something like, "Oh, you want the red block? It's so bright."
Oh, so it's really just acknowledging that they're
Yes.
trying to communicate with you.
Yes, acknowledging and building on it.
Right. Okay. So what happens if they just never get that back and forth?
Well, the impact can be really significant because these serve and return interactions literally shape the architecture of the developing brain.
Whoa.
You know how a house needs a strong foundation?
Yeah.
Well, these back and forth exchanges build those foundational neural connections in the brain.
So if they're not getting it, it's like a shaky foundation.
Exactly. It's not going to be a stable structure.
Right.
And there is actually some really interesting research that shows this in action.
Okay.
One study had mothers interacting playfully with their babies and then suddenly switched to showing a blank face
Oh, my God.
and ignoring their cues.
The babies are probably freaking out.
Yeah, they weren't happy campers, and the researchers actually saw a significant stress response
Oh,
in the babies.
just from that.
Just from that. And of course, it's really important to note this was a controlled experiment, not an endorsement of ignoring babies,
Right. Of course.
but it really highlights how important that responsive interaction is.
Right. So not only are they not building the connections,
Right.
they're also getting stressed out at the same time.
Exactly. Dr. Gunnar, another expert in this field, calls it the double whammy effect of neglect.
Ah, the double whammy.
You're depriving the brain of the good stuff
Yeah.
and flooding it with stress hormones that hinder healthy development.
It's like a double negative.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think a lot of people, when they hear neglect, they think of the really, really extreme cases.
Yeah,
But it sounds like there's levels to this.
you're absolutely right. It's not always black and white.
Yeah.
Dr. Shonkoff points out that neglect exists on a spectrum.
Oh, a spectrum. Okay.
Yeah.
So what does that look like?
Well, let's break it down. The first level is what we call occasional inattention.
Oh.
We all have moments when we're distracted, right? Maybe we're cooking dinner and don't immediately respond to our child's request for a story.
Oh, phew. Okay, so a little bit is okay.
Some experts say it can actually be beneficial.
Yeah.
Dr. Fox suggests these moments allow children to develop self-soothing skills and learn to explore their environment independently.
So it's finding that balance.
Exactly, finding that balance.
Okay, what's the next level?
The next level is what we call chronic understimulation.
Okay.
And this is where things start to get a little bit more concerning.
Okay.
It's when children consistently receive less interaction and stimulation than they need to thrive.
I imagine that can happen in a lot of different situations.
And absolutely. It could be a busy or overwhelmed caregiver.
Right.
It could be limited resources. It
Yeah.
could even be a lack of understanding about the importance of those back and forth interactions.
Okay, so that's chronic understimulation. What about the more severe forms of neglect?
Right. So the next level, severe neglect in a family, is what most people traditionally picture when they hear the word neglect.
Right.
We're talking prolonged periods of inattention, unmet basic needs like food and hygiene. Wow.
Even exposure to unsafe environments.
And that's obviously going to have a big impact.
It does. And Dr. Jones Harden, a leading expert on child maltreatment, shared a pretty sobering statistic.
Okay.
Neglect is actually the most common form of child maltreatment in the U.S.
Really? I had no idea.
More common than physical or sexual abuse.
Wow.
And it's often less visible.
Right?
Which makes it even more challenging to address.
Yeah.
And if you remember that double whammy effect we talked about, at this level, that lack of stimulation and toxic stress response can really take a toll on a child's development.
Yeah.
We're talking impacts on everything from language and cognitive skills to emotional regulation and social relationships.
So this can really affect them like way later in life.
Unfortunately, yes, it can create this ripple effect that lasts for years.
Okay, so we've got occasional inattention, we've got chronic understimulation.
Yes.
And we've got severe neglect within a family. Is there another level?
There's one more, and it's the most severe form.
Severe neglect in institutional settings.
Oh, wow.
This is typically what we see in orphanages or environments where children lack that consistent, responsive caregiving.
Yeah.
Think about a baby in an orphanage constantly being passed from one caregiver to another.
Right.
There's no chance to form those secure attachments or experience that consistent serve and return that we talked about.
So, like, in that setting, it's even worse.
Absolutely. Dr. Mays emphasizes that this level of neglect isn't only in traditional orphanages.
Okay.
Sadly, similar situations can arise in various parts of our country where children are placed in what are euphemistically called transitional care or assessment facilities.
So almost like the system is neglecting these kids.
That's a complex issue probably for another deep dive,
Yeah.
but it really underscores the importance of advocating for policies that prioritize children's well-being in all settings.
Yeah, this is all pretty heavy stuff, honestly.
Yeah.
But I'm sensing that we're about to maybe shift gears a little bit.
Yeah.
So we've talked all about the problem, but is there hope for these kids?
That's the good news.
Okay, good.
We know more than ever about the science of neglect and the power of intervention.
Right.
We can make a difference.
I like hearing that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about solutions.
Yes.
What can we do to help these children who have experienced neglect? We were just talking about how there is hope.
Yes.
And we know a lot more about how to help these kids.
Absolutely.
So what does that look like?
So one of the most powerful tools, and it kind of weaves through all of the different interventions, is that serve and return concept.
Okay, so like teaching people how to do that?
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
like we're teaching adults how to be better partners in that neurological tennis match.
Like serve and return 101.
Yeah, exactly. But it's more than just teaching a technique.
Right.
It's about building awareness and understanding. For parents, it might involve learning about child development milestones, understanding the power of those everyday interactions, and getting strategies for managing their own stress, which can be a huge factor in neglect.
Right. So you're not just saying, hey, pay attention.
Right.
You're giving them the tools to actually do it.
Exactly. And it's also about recognizing that neglect often stems from a whole web of challenges.
Okay.
Poverty, mental health issues, lack of social support.
Yeah.
These all play a role.
It's like trying to fix the leaky faucet without
Yeah.
addressing the pipes.
Exactly. You got so effective interventions look at the whole picture.
Okay.
Some programs offer home visits from trained professionals who can provide guidance to connect families with resources and offer that crucial support system.
So they're not just out there on their own.
Exactly. They have someone who can guide them and support them.
And interventions go beyond the home too, right?
Absolutely. Early childhood education plays a huge role.
So like preschools, daycares, things like that.
Exactly. High-quality early childhood programs provide those enriching experiences and consistent serve and return interactions. They can also be key in identifying children who might be experiencing neglect and connecting their families with support.
So it's like they're the first line of defense almost.
Yeah, they're essential players in this. They're trained to observe children's development, spot red flags, and intervene early.
So what about the kids themselves?
Yes.
Are there therapies that can help them like catch up?
There are some really amazing therapies out there that can be incredibly beneficial.
Like what?
Play therapy, for example, uses the power of play to help children process their experiences, develop emotional regulation skills, and even build healthy attachments.
So you're using play to help them heal.
Exactly. It's a natural way for kids to express themselves and work through challenges.
Are there other examples?
Yeah, there are also therapies specifically designed to address the neurological impacts of neglect, such as sensory integration therapy, which helps children process sensory information and regulate their responses.
So we've got this whole arsenal of tools that we can use.
We do, and the research shows that early intervention is key.
Okay.
The sooner we can identify and address neglect, the better the chances for these kids to thrive.
So it's not hopeless?
Not at all.
It's good.
With the right support, these kids can overcome the challenges of neglect and build bright futures.
That's really inspiring, honestly.
It is, and it reminds us that everyone has a role to play in creating a more supportive and nurturing world for all children.
That's a good point. We've talked about these big picture interventions, but what about like the rest of us? What can we do in our own communities to help?
That's a great question, and that's exactly what we're going to dive into in the final part of our deep dive.
So let's talk about what we can do.
Yes.
Like not the big programs and stuff.
Right.
But like what can regular people do?
I love that question.
Yeah.
Because it really highlights that this isn't just a parenting issue.
Okay.
It's a societal issue.
Okay.
You know, one of the researchers, Dr. Shonkoff, said, everyone in a community has a vested interest in everyone else's children.
It takes a village.
Exactly. We are the village.
Right.
And that means being present, being observant, and being willing to step up when we see a child or family struggling.
Okay, so what does that look like?
Well, think about the people in your life who have young children.
Okay.
Maybe it's a friend who's a new parent, a neighbor who's juggling work and childcare, or even a family member who seems overwhelmed.
Okay.
Sometimes the simplest gestures can make a huge difference.
Like what?
Offer to babysit so they can have a break.
Okay.
Bring over a meal so they don't have to cook. Or simply lend a listening ear without judgment.
Right.
These small acts of support can really ease the burden on parents.
They can be better parents?
Exactly, which in turn helps them be more present and responsive to their kids.
Right. It's like you got to put your own oxygen mask on first.
Precisely. And when parents feel supported, they're better equipped to provide those crucial serve and return interactions that we talked about.
Right. Okay. So beyond just helping out our friends, what else can we do?
Well, think about the organizations in your community that are already doing great work for children and families.
Okay.
Schools, libraries, community centers, faith-based groups.
Right.
They all play a role.
Yeah.
Volunteering your time, donating resources, or even just spreading the word about their programs can have a significant impact.
Okay. So support what's already out there.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of education.
Okay.
The more we understand about early brain development and the impact of neglect, the better equipped we'll be to advocate for change.
So talk about it.
Talk about it. Share articles on social media. Start conversations about these issues.
Yeah. Okay, so how do we take it to the next level?
Right. So to really create lasting change, we need to advocate for policy changes that support families and protect children.
Okay, how do we do that?
Contact your elected officials, support organizations that are fighting for children's rights, and vote for candidates who prioritize early childhood education and family-friendly policies.
So make our voices heard, basically.
Exactly. We need to make sure that every child, regardless of their background or zip code, has the opportunity to thrive.
Well, this has been a really eye-opening conversation.
Yes.
I feel like I've learned a lot, and I have a better idea of what I can actually do to help.
Me too. And, you know, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the enormity of these issues.
Right.
But remember, even small actions can make a difference.
Totally.
By working together, we can turn the tide on neglect and create a brighter future for all children.
I love that. So to our listeners, thank you so much for joining us for another deep dive. We hope you learned something new and feel inspired to take action.
And as Dr. Shonkoff said, neglecting young children is neglecting the foundations of a healthy next generation.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Let's work together to build that foundation strong.